The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policies or positions of any organization or entity. The content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research or consult a qualified professional regarding the topics discussed. By engaging with this podcast and related social media content, you acknowledge and agree to this disclaimer.
In the name of the powers that be, please protect us as we speak on these topics. Please keep us safe. Please bless us that we will be able to speak with clarity without fear. And when we end, please bless that we will sleep peacefully and be able to tackle the next day. So may it be.
So thank you, Lazarus. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, friends, to the Coven of Wing and Fang. For there are no strangers here, please come and sit with the Hearth with us. So, Raven, it's been a hot minute. How you been?
Stressed. How about you?
Yeah, that tracks.
This tracks. I think everybody's been stressed. I finally got my bachelor's, so we're done with that. Don't have to worry about school anymore. That was a good thing.
You got that degree?
Now I'm getting ready to, and I think at the beginning of next year, I'm going to start applying for my master's programs. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be out my dang old mind with school stuff. So, just to kind of get started tonight, we do have, as you noticed, we have someone different who did our opening prayer for us. And this is my friend Lazarus. I met him out in Western North Carolina with some friends, and we've kind of hit it off on some witchy topics and talked about a lot of things. He has knowledge in the Appalachian side of magic things, which kind of go a little bit into the root work side of things, which is actually kind of cool and interesting. And we thought that this would be me and Raven thought this would be actually a great first topic instead of talking about the skinwalkers and wendigos to actually go into different practice and actually let someone discuss their practice and what they do, because it's like I said, everyone does it different. Everyone likes to practice different and do their stuff just differently, period. So I've known Lazarus here for probably about 6 months or longer. He's really cool. He knows what he's talking about.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, he's still a baby, but it's okay.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So, but it has been a great time in talking to him. I get random messages throughout the day with random little witchy facts, and it's like, you know what? I never really thought about that. So it's been nice. It's been fun. This is actually Raven's first time meeting him, and you know, before we even got started, we were all sitting, giggling, laughing, having a good time. So I think I made a good choice as to who we brought on to the first one for this.
Most definitely.
You're too kind.
I try. But needless to say, with that being said, Alan, was there anything you want to update on or anything crazy you want to talk about before we get started and let Lazarus talk about his stuff?
I didn't do it this time.
So with that being said, Lazarus, I'm going to turn it over to you and just let you just kind of talk about your thing and kind of get started with your stuff, because you are the expert of your knowledge right now of what you've done and however long you've done it. And I guess that's the first question is how long have you been practicing what you've been practicing?
First of all, expert is a stretch. I don't know about expert. As far as Appalachian magic goes, I want to say beginning of last year. I want to say February. And let's get right into it. I noticed you called it root work earlier. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about culture. Let's talk about intersectionality. So, Appalachian folk magic, which is what I call it, is a very delicate game. Appalachian folk magic is a conglomeration of English, indigenous, and black magic. And that is black as in African American magic, African traditional magic. And you have to be exceedingly careful not to step on anybody's toes, and that includes religious labels. So, conjure and root work. I have learned recently, thanks to a professor, believe it or not, to not apply to myself, because those are labels that belong to the black community, apparently. I've been looking into other things to call myself, like faith healer or fairy doctor, which actually ties really well with my Irish roots. That's another thing that I've been getting on. I'm really excited about that. So let's see what else. As far as my practice goes, I have my hands on a lot of pies. So my formal titles, I suppose, are Appalachian Folk Witch and Christian Witch. As far as the spirits that I interact with, I worship and work with Yahweh and Asherah. Almost exclusively those two. They are the like God, Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother are for the most part the only spirits I formally worship. They have two little candles on my altar space, and the rest of the spirits in there are a few. It's a little troubling at this point. The other spirits that I typically worship or have correspondence with, we have Archangel Michael, we have Saint Lazarus, who I am honored to share the name with today. Who I'm honored to share the name with today on this podcast. We have Mary Magdalene, but we also have ancestors, specifically my Irish ancestors, because God knows they were very, how do I put this, eager to work with me. We have a couple of the fair folk, just kind of general land spirits that I work with, the fair folk. And that's about it. As far as my altar space, I try to keep it as minimalistic as possible. I have two candles, I have a Bible, I have a rosary. As far as the demons go, because of course there are demons in Christian witchcraft, there's no light without a dark. I don't formally work with any. I've kind of a polite coworker relationship with them. I don't formally worship them. I know of their existence. I know they're doing some kind of good work, but we don't really interact. Let's see what else. What else? So yeah, that's everything off the top of my head. Do y'all have anything you want to add? Anything? Any questions?
So I think the first thing is because you said you had talked to a professor out at, I can't remember what college it was. It's not that important.
Not that
Yeah.
important.
So you had talked to a professor out at one of the colleges about it. So you said root work and conjuration are two magics that we specifically don't use for those of the fair skin, as I like to put it.
They're labels that I don't use.
Got you. Did she have any particular reason as to why? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like this: if you are of white ancestry, there's no reason why you can't practice this stuff as long as you go into it with the right headspace. That's the biggest
Yes.
thing that I want anybody to understand is nothing should ever feel like it's off limits unless you personally feel like it's off limits to you. Like, I'm pretty sure my family owned slaves back in the 1800s because my family comes from farming stock. I'm pretty sure we had a couple at some point in time. So I know that I probably would not personally go into that side of stuff. But that being said, did she have any reasoning as to why you shouldn't, or is there a specific reason why you feel like you shouldn't step into that wheelhouse, I guess?
I don't want to get my ass kicked by the black ancestors, but no. I just don't want to take something that isn't mine. I don't want to feel like my ancestors because I do have a fair amount of guilt about that. I don't want to become a part of something that isn't going to wholly accept me back. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I were to enter into African spaces with a genuine humility, with genuine open-mindedness, and if that community accepted me back, it would still feel like it wouldn't completely belong to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get.
Like no matter what I would do, it wouldn't be a place that fits.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying there. Because, yeah, that would be a awkward situation to kind of step into, I think.
Yeah. However, with Appalachian folk magic, there is going to be some obvious overlap. But what's cool is that there are some things that have just See, there's a lot of overlap between AFM, Appalachian Folk Magic, and Hoodoo. For example, they both use psalms, and that's just something that there's not really much discourse about it. But there's other things like using High John the Conqueror root or Goofer Dust that strictly belongs to Hoodoo. And which leaks over into Appalachian Folk Magic, and I purposefully don't use that because it just feels like it doesn't belong to me. Does that make sense?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. But there's also plenty of really fun stuff that just is from Ireland and from Scotland. That's what that carried over into Appalachia, and that's mostly what I use. For example, witch books. You take some broken glass, you take some rocks, you stick it in a bottle, you cover it up, and you take something from your person, like a piece of hair, and you hide it somewhere, and any spirit that wants to get you will follow the bottle instead of you, and they'll get trapped in there. Like, that's fun. I love that. That's not one of my favorite things.
Oh.
Of course, there's using psalms. That's very English and very African. There's also, let's see. Actually, my favorite tool to use is the Bible and the Rosary. They are my go-to. They are my preferred mode of magic. I also love candles. I recently gave away all my crystals because it was just using too much space and I wasn't using them.
Got you. So I guess we can step into that because into the ritual space because you kind of started talking about it. So you used to keep a bunch of crystals, which crystals have kind of always been for me like a hit and miss. Like sometimes they're really pretty to have, and then sometimes it's like, why do I have this?
Exactly.
It's like because I do the traditional thing of I keep a selenite spear above my door because that's supposed to be good luck. Speaking of, I should have recharged it on the last full moon, and I didn't, and that's my fault. So that's like, there's small things I will keep like that. Like wind chimes. I keep wind chimes on my front porch because that's a way to keep evil spirits from coming into the house. My welcome mat does not say welcome on it. It just says like hello or something like that, or because you don't want to welcome something into your home that shouldn't be there. Like I do the small things like that, like people who keep the cinnamon brooms at the front door is supposed to help sweep away negativity. So it's like there's small things like that, and it's even like I've even said before, like my ritual spaces, I have like a little effigy of Horus, a little effigy of Freya sitting on where my keys go. So every day when I walk by, I at least have to acknowledge that they're there. Which recently, really cool, I was at work and we have a hawk that stays around work a lot, and one of the pinions fell off, and it sat there for about 3 days. The feather didn't move. I left work on Friday, it was sitting there. Saturday, Sunday, it was still sitting there in the same spot, and then I came back to work on Monday, it was there, and I said, fudge it, I'm grabbing it, and I grabbed it and threw it in my book bag, because I was like, obviously I'm supposed to have this. So it's now sitting between Horus and Freya on my little altar space where I keep stuff, which I'm like, I probably should have sprayed this down with rubbing alcohol or something, but it's okay. Everybody likes bird lice once in a while. So yeah, it's been interesting. So like that's kind of like how my like little ritual space is set up. Like I don't have anything huge or major, and I think even you, Raven, your ritual space isn't huge or major either. Like you don't have like a huge altar space set up.
No, I don't have a lot of space for it, so I just have Anubis and the Morrigan statues, a couple.
Ooh, the Morrigan. I love that.
I love her. She's amazing. And then I have like a couple obsidian crystals, some bloodstone. I have like an obsidian athame, and then like a little candle holder and a little incense burner, and that's about it.
Obsidian's where it's at.
It's amazing. I love
I would say that is a true statement because I for Christmas, Raven gave me an obsidian fox totem head from a shop that she said it literally jumped off at her and the shop. And that sucker stays around my neck except for when I go to sleep at night. And I just, it's actually, and it's really funny, it's become like my worry stone. Like I'll pick it up while I'm sitting there thinking about something, and I'll rub the back of it because it's smooth, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, how does this work? And yeah, it's been nice. It, like I said, obsidian's one of those good stones to kind of keep around.
Mhm.
Crystals really depend on which ones match your vibration, I feel like. Because there's
Yeah.
some that aren't going to work, and then there's others that are for you.
An obsidian chunk that sits on my altar space. I got it for like $20. Like,
Ooh,
it was just perfect.
that's a good. That's
Yeah, that was a
I think you've sent me a picture of your altar space, which is really just on top of your what's it called?
my
On
dresser.
top of your dresser, and I was just like, okay, that's neat. And I'm like, wait, that's a big ass chunk of obsidian.
Yeah. And it was cheap. So, so cheap. I got it from a mineral festival
ooh.
that my uncle invited me to. They have it in like October, November. Like they'll have this whole they'll rent out this entire space dedicated to precious stones and fossils, and it's so cool. I'll tell you about it when the next time it comes around. I'll tell you both about it.
That would be amazing.
Awesome, because who doesn't like a good? It's kind of bad. I'm sitting here looking through all the messages you've ever sent me, and I'm like, God, why do we have so many messages? I'm like, oh yeah, because we'd never shut up. Anyway, so just basically, you have, because I know it's a chunk of obsidian. You have your candles. You even showed me how you draw up your own symbols sometimes for your god or goddess who you're speaking to directly.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Okay. So first, I will come to think of it. It's vaguely reminiscent of when I used to draw runes because I used to be Norse pagan. I would start with a single line for the bind rune and then draw more runes into that. It's kind of similar. I start with a straight line and then just sprawl out from there. I try to keep it as symmetrical as possible. And of course, I start on paper. I'll draw the initial design on paper and then transfer that onto the candle. Because usually when I do symbols, I usually draw them on candles. And turns out, if you get rubbing alcohol and a cotton ball, it can take off Sharpie off glass really easily. So keep that in mind. Um, but usually it's just free flow for my brain. It's just free doodling. There's not much thought that goes into it. There's not any kind of sigil process. I mostly just kind of let it happen. And if it looks bad, it looks bad.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it because it's more authentic for you.
I'll send you a picture. I'll send you all a picture of Ashura's candle. I love the
Ooh.
design I made for her. But yeah, what about you? Both of you.
For runes,
Any kind of symbol.
I haven't gotten into symbols a lot, but usually I use like what is it, the Elder Futhark type?
They're Futhark. Yep.
Futhark, yep. I use those ones because my brother-in-law is Norse pagan, and he has
Mhm.
told me about them and like explained them, so I feel more comfortable using those ones. I haven't quite ventured out into making my own yet because I'm like, oh well, what if I do it wrong? Because I was raised Catholic, so I still have that like little bit
Mm.
of, oh, what if I do something wrong?
Yeah, exactly. I feel you on that. Oh my God.
Catholic guilt, gotta love it.
I know.
Um, so for me, it is mess. I do step into the runes a little bit, especially being that I've leaned a little bit heavier into Freya.
Mhm.
I
Hmm.
don't think Horse minds too much that I lean more on Freya. Because honestly, if he did, I think he'd let me know.
Hmm.
So, but I think you saw my tattoo where it's the bind for Freya within the Valkyrie symbol.
Oh
Yeah, so
yeah.
I do have that at least on my tattooed on my body as my like. Eventually, I will have a whole sleeve where half of it is going to be Egyptian and half of it will be Nordic as just honor to both of them. Um,
It's going to be
That's
amazing.
sick. That's
but I
sick.
do
Hmm.
wear a widget when I'm on some days. Um, which there is a difference between wearing the Eye of Horus and Eye of Ra, which was actually really funny when I actually did the research on that. The Eye
Mhm.
of Ra is typically the right eye or the right facing eye and represents the sun. The Eye of Horus is the left eye and represents the moon. So the widget is actually the left eye, which is actually the symbol for protection. I think they're both symbols of protection. It just depends on who you're worshiping as to which one you wear and in what direction you wear it. Because
Hmm.
Horus was typically associated with Upper Egypt, where I believe Ra was associated with Lower Egypt a little bit, because of course Egypt had to be separated a long, long time ago, depending on where the water flowed through the Nile. So you didn't have just one pharaoh; you had two pharaohs. Technically, they had to answer to, depending on where you were at. I believe that's right. I've got to go back into my Egyptology at some point. So I do play with runes a little bit more when it comes to stuff. If I'm drawing a bind rune, I kind of just go with what feels natural. I think the biggest one is, it's like Lazarus said, he just would draw a line and just make it work that way. I typically like to do mine as a circle, where they all come from a converging point in the middle and kind of like branch off. And that's just kind of how I've just always drawn it. And I've jokingly have said multiple times about my partner's car, because he would just have such bad days. I said, if you keep it up, I'm going to draw you a bind rune to keep you calm in your car and put it under your seat. And I was actually going to do a wood burning, but once it breaks, that basically means the bind rune does what it does. But it never got that bad. So if I'm not wearing that, I'm also, if I'm not wearing my widget, I wear the Helm of All as well on a raven skull. Nice. So, yeah. Awesome. Do a little bit of stuff with the rune work. I think something I do want you to talk about, because it's my favorite thing that I ever hear you talk about every time, is you jarring people.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Okay.
I love, like, the last time I saw you in person and we were walking, you were talking about how you had like basically a list ready to start jarring people. And I'm like, boy, ain't got that much freezer space. I know he doesn't have that much freezer space.
You know what? Those bitches have time. Those bitches have. You know what? You know what? It was deserved. I don't care. But actually, I don't put them in freezers. I put them in a drawer. So, do you want to know my process?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so it's pretty standard. So, first and foremost, I get music going, of course, because you need good music. I listen to music for almost all of my workings, all of my stuff. And I'll get out a piece of paper. I will write their name down. I will also occasionally put their general location, like South Carolina or something. And I will write INRI under it, just for power, because that's Jesus's name in a way. And then flanked by 3 crosses, I'll write what they did that was wrong, like what they did to wrong me. I'll fold it away from me. I'll fold it away from me. I'll stick toothpicks in it. I'll put it in a mason jar, fill it halfway with water. Then I will occasionally recite like an imprecatory psalm. I'll recite like Psalm 54 or Psalm 45. No. 44, 45, something like that. I'll recite it over the water, paper in the water, close it, and stick it in a dark drawer. And throughout the next couple days, I'll spit into it. Little dark, little heavy, but you know what? In the wide world of things I could be doing, I think putting workings on people is pretty tame. I'm just saying. Like, I think it is a very healthy outlet for anger. Me personally. And I know that God is completely okay with it. Because, you know what? If the apostles can shake the dust off their shoes at a house that refuses to entreat them, why can't I put someone in a jar? You know? I'm just saying. And if Jesus can curse the fig tree, then I can put someone in a jar. I have no qualms about it.
So, yeah, because I hear you talk about jarring people on a regular basis, and I'm just like, someone's going to jar jail. What the hell they do this time?
Yup. When your coworker's being an ass, they go in the jar.
So this is why I stay on Lazarus's good side. And if I ever feel like something's going wrong, I'm like, why'd you put me in a jar? And what did I do? I apologize.
What did you do this?
Oh, God.
It's like, why you gotta do me like this?
Note to self.
It's like, note to self. It would really be a thing of, why'd you put me in a jar? What did I do? I did not mean it. If it hurt your feelings, like, it's either that or Mercury's in retrograde. Take your pick.
Yeah. I would never put you in a jar. Never put you in a jar. I'm kidding.
He says, as he's slowly folding my name up to put into the jar right now.
So slowly. So slowly.
We slowly hear the trickle of water. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Oh
Don't worry
goodness.
And
about
then you hear
that.
the steady hop tour in the back.
Gross.
Oh.
But no, I like you too much. Like, genuinely, I like you too much. And Raven, I like you too. We just haven't talked too much.
Don't worry. We'll sort that out.
Okay, let's see. What else is there?
So I think something else to kind of talk about too is something I would like you to talk about, because it was something that me and Raven had like a really good conversation about while I was trying to reassure you that it was okay. Is I actually want you to talk about how you recently honored a deity outside of your normal pantheon that you work with.
Yes.
This is actually because me and Raven went back and forth like, would it be appropriate for you to make an offering to apologize if you feel like you're stepping on toes? Because also
Mhm.
something too I want to remind everyone too is speaking with a higher power or a deity of any kind, they communicate to people in different ways depending on how your, I guess, your gift is leaning. Being that I'm a little bit more emotion driven, I feel things through emotion. Raven, I think you said that you actually can, you get physical contact.
Yeah, like
Wow.
energetic physical pressure in different areas.
Yeah. So it's like I usually get like the emotion of like if I'm talking with Freya, it's typically a very matronly kind of feel while also very like no non I don't want to say no nonsense. That's not the word I'm wanting to use. But she has a
Mm.
very, she is a warrior mother is a good way to put it. Um
Hmm.
but when
Mm-hmm.
she when there was my friend who I did the reading for, who I felt who I wanted him to feel better after the reading because it kind of hurt him a little bit. Not hurt him, but it dredged up old emotions. The feeling of a mother holding her children, it is kind of the feel that I got from her when she was sitting with us during that. I always
Mm.
make sure you kindly dismiss your deity when you're done talking to them. If not, they'll sit with you as long as they want to. True
Yes.
statement.
And they will talk to you and have opinions and be like, I don't think we should do that. And you're like, wait, what? You're still
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah. It was she was there and was actually a very supportive there. Horace is a very I see Horace as a very fatherly energy, very like I don't say imposing, but it's kingly energy. It's somebody who's he is definitely the no nonsense. He is basically the no nonsense father figure who was like, I will crush my enemies beneath my heel if I need to.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's a good energy and a not good energy at the same time. Typically, when I actually pray to him, I ask him to give me the strength and wisdom of kings, so that way I can make my decisions throughout the day.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do
Mm-hmm.
my daily prayers for a reason. So, but yeah, like that's how the feeling is for me when I work with him, or work with them. And I know, I think Raven, you said that working with the Morgan is like a pressure on the back of your neck, or was that Anubis?
Anubis is like a pressure on the back of my neck going up into the base of the skull area. And I can always tell that it's him wanting to talk to me or wanting me to do something because that's where I feel that pressure. And when it's the Morrigan, it's more towards the front in the temples to the top of the head, like almost like a headband, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's how I can tell them apart. It's like, oh, I know who wants to talk to me. I know which tarot deck to grab or whatever.
So, and I know Lazarus, you can actually, guess lack of a better word, you can actually hear them kind of speak to you,
Ooh, you're
Mm,
so to
clairaudient?
speak.
no, no,
Maybe.
no, no, not quite. It's claircognizance.
Ooh,
I
okay.
know what they're saying. I don't hear anything. I just have a knowing. I have a knowledge of it. So I can kind of quote unquote see them, but only in my mind. Like I don't. There's nothing in my physical space that gives me a sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in the mind. So, for example, if we can bring it back to the deity that I contacted, this is a little embarrassing. I really hope that I'm looked on favorably by that pantheon. Um,
And I mean,
so what
I
happened
would say go
was,
ahead and speak the name and everything too about who you talk to, like let people know who you were talking with, and it's not that
okay,
bad.
I know. It was Papa Leba of the African pantheon, if the of Haitian voodoo and various other African traditions. So what happened was because Appalachian folk magic has so much crossover with African magic, I was concerned that I unknowingly used a poached ritual or tool. I didn't have a specific one in mind. I was just worried that I accidentally. And I was worried I was going to do it in the future and I wanted to cover my bases. So what I did, with as much knowledge as I could find without going too deep, I made an apology offering. So what I did, I went down to my local crossroad with a handful of oranges and I laid it down at a crossroad. I dedicated it to the black ancestors and to Papa Leba. I whispered a few homemade prayers of forgiveness, and then I left. I dashed. I bolted because I was so worried and I was so nervous. With as much reverence and with as much speed and consideration as I could possibly manage. And what's really funny, I feel like it was well received. The vibe that I got afterwards was sympathy, confusion, amusement. I could literally see the deity. I could literally see Papa Leva, like kind of squinting at me in confusion and kind of smiling, like, what strange child is this? Like almost like I could almost hear the accent. Like, who are you? What are you doing? How did you find us here? And he's like he's not lost. He knows what he's doing. Um, but he's like, but they're just like, he didn't do any. Did he do anything wrong? I don't think he did anything wrong.
Oh, that's hilarious. I
Um,
love that. I love that. That is just like hilarious. Like,
what are you doing here? What?
Have you ever seen the movie To Wong Fu?
I've seen
Okay,
clips.
so the clip that I'm thinking of
Why?
right now is probably how it was. Is when Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes were both at the after the end of the contest at the start of the movie, and they stop and they're like, Noxzema, the little boy, the little Latin boy in drag is crying. Why is the little Latin boy in drag crying? And I'm like, I can just see him going, little Latin boy in drag, why are you praying to me?
So confused, so concerned.
It's like, you didn't do anything wrong, so why are you here?
Why are you here? What are you doing?
Who gave you my number, and who am I cursing for giving this number? So
It was a very positive experience, believe it or not. Again, very sensitive, very culturally sensitive, of course. Um, but yeah, I made a small promise to try my best not to appropriate in the future, and I left without looking back because in my own tradition, in Appalachian tradition, when you're leaving something at a crossroad, you don't look back. At least not until you've crossed a body of water, like a river. So I kind of incorporate a little bit of my own magic into that. But yeah, all in all, it was a pretty positive experience. Hopefully, in the best way possible, in the best way I can say it, hopefully, I won't be going back to do that again.
here's hoping, because yeah,
Here's hoping.
woof. Because I don't want you to have to end up taking like 3 highly priced cigars with you to kind of like
Oh
I am so
God.
sorry. Um,
Like, let's try to prevent that.
yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. I would like you to not have to. Yeah. Um,
mm-hmm.
so something I think is interesting that you have spoken to is also how you have said you're a Christian witch. A lot of people do
Mm,
not bring Christianity and witchcraft as synonymous. However, if you look at all the rituals and everything we do within the Christian faith, they are heavily pagan sometimes. I guess kind of explain what Christian witchcraft is, because I don't think people would 100% understand that. And Raven, if you have questions, please God say something, because I don't want to overtake everything.
No, you're good. I'm listening. I'm writing down like a little couple things, and we've actually covered like
Oh,
everything
that's
I had questions about
oh,
so far without me having to ask.
great. I tell you, first and foremost, it's the shit. I love it. Love it to bits. I absolutely love it. So here's what Christian witchcraft is, or this is how I treat it. It's taking all of the bells and whistles of witchcraft and applying them to Christianity outside of an organized religious setting. So, for example, I will do tarot cards with Jesus. I will do a tarot spread with the expectation that Jesus is the one controlling the cards. I will perform working spells. And that's another cool thing about Appalachian folk magic and Black tradition. You call spells workings. I interchangeably use spells and workings just because neither of them like the term witchcraft because it conjures up the image of devil worship. But that's a whole nother thing. But I will do spells in the name of Jesus, or in the name of God, or in the name of Ashera, or Asherah, the wife of God, in the name of saints too, in the name of ancestors occasionally. A lot of my rituals, a lot of my spells are psalms. Like I will repeat a psalm like 3 times, and that will be my spell. Let's see what else. Those are a few good examples. It's literally taking all the trappings of witchcraft and giving them a Christian core. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So, yeah, of course, there are some heavy theological differences. For example, many organized Christians believe in, for example, that Jesus died for your sins. I don't believe that. I think Jesus died to show solidarity. I think Jesus was Yahweh, was an incarnate form of Yahweh, and he died as a show of solidarity with humanity, that he's in touch with humanity, that he died as the least of these in order to better understand us. And of course, and then there's Asherah. Pronunciations vary. I also formally worship her. Work with them, but I don't believe they're evil. I believe they are dark, but they're not evil. I believe they fulfill a purpose, although I'm not entirely sure what it is. And finally, my God, this one's going to be a long one. Stay with me. I believe in the dragon. The dragon is a very complicated entity who I will try my best to describe. The dragon is God's false duplicate. The dragon is the severing power of God that was used to separate the earth from the sea, the night and the dark, all the way back in Genesis. And that severing aspect of God severed himself from God a long time ago. He is everything God is not. He is what many people have called the evangelical egregore. He is the homophobia. He is the misogyny. He is the xenophobia. He is every social evil balled up into one that modern Christianity has unfortunately married itself to. And he is, every time a pastor says something divisive, cruel, or cowardly, and I have cursed the dragon's name multiple times. So, yeah, some heavy theological differences, some heavy differences in theological beliefs. It's very loose, very much, oh God, Tom's texting me. Very loose in ritual, very loose in structure, and generally more open, more allowing of different beliefs, of different structures. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, it's okay if I lost you at the hold the dragon bit. I will do my best to explain that later in the DMs.
That's fine. So when we speak of the dragon, are we speaking of the 7-headed dragon that wears the crown on each head, or is this a different dragon? Okay.
Yes. That is Yes, correct.
I know a little something about Christianity. Not much, but I know a little.
Yes, the same dragon. Not Satan, not Lucifer. I do not believe that the dragon of Revelations that you just mentioned is either Satan or Lucifer. They are three. Lucifer is his own deity. Lucifer is his own being. Satan is his own being, and the dragon is his own being.
Hmm.
Three completely different entities.
I think you've actually told me that before. The different names of Satan is actually a different person instead of people saying, because a lot of people tend to say in Christianity that they're all the same person. It's like, but then why would he have
Hmm.
different names like that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah,
Why would you
I believe there
separate
are
someone like that?
three completely different entities. So yeah. If you want me to go more into what they represent, feel free. I can absolutely do that.
Raven, before we let him go any deeper into anything, do you want to ask any questions?
Um, Let me see. We covered that. We did that. Yeah, if you want to go deeper into that, that would be really interesting because I don't know very much about that grouping.
Alrighty. So let's start off with Lucifer, better known as Hellel. Hellel is the ruler of hell. Hell is not a bad place. I cannot stress this enough. Hell is not a bad place. It is a place of cleansing. It is a place of healing. In essence, hell is no more, I like to say this, hell is no more painful than a really harsh therapy session. It's you confront your business, you detox from life, and you confront all the shit that you were unable to confront in life so you can better enjoy your time in heaven. That's what Hillel rules over, and he's very good at it. He is very good at helping you confront your problems. I have not had the joy of working with Lucifer, aka Hillel, mostly because I'm a little scared of him. But that's the ex evangelical in me. Next up, we have Satan, or Hashatan, otherwise known as Samael. Is also known as the venom of God. Is messenger, and he is a chaos spirit. He knocks you down so God can build you back up again. Take Job, for example. Samael completely wiped him out so God could make him better. Samael also acts as the divine prosecutor. When you die, he helps you confront your problems, much like Lucifer, much like Hillel. He is an obstacle that teases out the truth. Does that make sense?
Are you talking about in like the same way that a therapist would get you to divulge
No,
truth, or like?
no. He presents you with darkness so your light can shine through it.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes more sense to me.
He provides you with obstacles so your own human spirit can shine forth.
So kind of like a teacher giving you quizzes or tests to try and get you to
Yes,
grow.
yes, and those are trials. They are adversarial trials. In that context, he is your adversary, but there is a benefit to it. Because both Hillel and Samael are still God's angels. They're darker angels, but they still work under God, in my opinion, in my beliefs. And finally, you have the dragon. This motherfucker. Finally, you have the dragon. He's the big bad. Is the real thing we should be fighting against. He is the hatred. He is the homophobia, xenophobia, classism, misogyny. He is social evil that we should genuinely be fighting against. And the evil that has taken place in has taken root in many a church. Unfortunately.
So earlier on, you had called the dragon like a false version of God.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you mean by like, oh, it's taken root in churches? Like it's what people are worshiping instead of realizing that they're not worshiping God, they're worshiping that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He is, like I said, an evil twin.
Okay.
And he is a royal pain in my ass most days. Because he's also the voice that tells you you're not good enough. He's also the voice that tells you, come back to your old ways of thinking where you suffered, but it was more comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like all the little like nagging doubt and everything.
Yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, real exciting stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Now, I had a question. Would you say like you were talking? Sorry, you were talking about being more like a almost like a therapy room where like you're learning about
Yes.
what you did, you're becoming better. You're gonna. Would you equate that with the modern version of purgatory, where it's like, oh well, you're gonna stay here for a little bit and then you're gonna go to heaven?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Where do you think like the modern interpretation of hell came from?
Modern interpretation of hell as a place of never-ending torment
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
I think that came from a misunderstanding of Tartarus from the Greek pantheon.
Oh.
I think Tartarus is, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I think Tartarus is where we get the notion of never-ending pain and torment for eternity.
Okay.
And I also think, ooh, Foxfire, you're going to be interested in this. I think the notion of hell as a place of torment also comes from a misidentification of Helheim from your cosmology. I
Mm.
think people got the idea of Helheim incorrect too, and I think that also goes into this place of fiery torment.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No. If you, yeah,
Although Helheim was supposed to be more icy and cold than actually, fiery brimstone, but
That too. Yeah, they got a lot of things wrong about the North. Sorry,
it's
Foxfire.
okay. I'm used to it by now. So I guess the question I have for you then is, when it comes to this kind of stuff, heaven, hell, and everything like that, is there a reincarnation cycle in your eyes, or is it just basically once you're done, it's done?
No, in my no, in my knowledge, it's once you're done, it's done.
Got you.
I think, for the most part, I think you can choose. I think it's up to you to a degree. I wouldn't know. I don't know. Not for certain, anyway. But I think for most people, when you're done, you're done.
you've been through life once. Why would you want to do it again?
Damn. I mean, yeah, kind of.
Mm.
Little depressing, but yeah.
Because I was gonna say,
Y'all got anything?
I think there was actually a story I had read a long time ago where it was basically exploring not really reincarnation, but basically how all of life is experienced by one person, and it's just we're each a different
Oh,
section of that
yeah.
Mm.
person. So it's about like, the person died and then went to heaven. They're like, okay, well, we're gonna let you go back, and you go back, and they come back, and they're like a little girl who was born in China, and during the time where
Hmm.
if you're firstborn, where you can only have like one child or maybe two,
Mhm.
but like if it was a girl, you didn't keep a girl if it was your firstborn, so you would actually, you know, kill your child because it's like you don't want to contribute to overpopulation. And they're like, I was there for
Hmm.
only like 10 seconds and then I was gone. So it was an
Hmm.
interesting story to read and listen about with that, because it actually shows how people are all interconnected, even though we try to say that we're not. So because it's interesting, because some people do believe in reincarnation and that you do get the chance to come back and there's the
I do.
Hindu side of things where it's like, oh, you come back and you want to come back as a cow because that's the most sacred form. Whoever decided a cow was the most sacred form, I'm proud of you for deciding that. But
What was I say?
I know, the cycle of reincarnation, because it kind of makes sense on some level where I think you're right. I think it's like you have an opportunity to say, okay, I don't want to go back. Like, I think I've learned everything I've learned in that last life or in the past couple of lives where it's not needed, or where it's like, I want to try one more time because maybe, the red string of fate, maybe there was someone who you were fated to be with and it just wasn't that time. It's like, I want to be with this person. I know I'm supposed to be with them.
Oh, that's so sweet. I haven't thought about that.
Right.
Actually.
It's like, it's the star-crossed lovers kind of situation where it's like, no matter what you do in each life, somehow, some way, you eventually get there. It's just, it takes so many different reincarnations to finally get there. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Of course, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
No.
See,
Unfortunately.
I read a book a while ago, and it was like, it's a series by this guy from like the early 1900s, and it's called like Life in the Hereafter or something like that. And it's this guy who said he could talk to spirits, and there was this one spirit who told him all about how it is after you die. And it was very much similar to like what both of you were kind of saying, where it's like, oh, well, if you do have reincarnation, it's kind of like a choice. Like, you can stay there, or you can come back, or you can stay there for like 100 years or so and then choose to come back or whatever. But it's all about like making that decision and being like, you know what, I do want to go back because I feel like I could teach somebody this, or I want to experience that type thing.
Oh, it's starting to sell me on the reincarnation train. I'm just saying. Like, I didn't think much about it now, but now it's like, actually, reincarnation sounds pretty dope.
Right. It's like, it's not, it's one of those things of, because it's like Raven did for me a while back, where she looked to see who the spirits were that basically were my guardian spirits, along with my elemental guardians, and come to find out it was actually my grandmother when I was in a life where I was Nordic, where she taught me, where she was helping me learn how to do Seta, because I was not strong enough to be a warrior. I was sick all the time. So she was teaching me the ways of the shamanistic side of things, of, the Seder side of things, the herbalist things. And I've actually done a meditation where I have actually met her, and she was so, and it's like, even out, Raven had said to me, she's excited that you're healthy in this life, that you're strong, that you can do what you do. And actually,
I love
and
that.
like actually meeting her in that meditation that I did, it was like a homecoming. It was a very excited, very matronly, very warm, like, she was proud of me. She was happy that, the life that I'm leading, all this stuff, and that I'm where I'm at, and glad that I'm starting to step back into the mystic side of things and everything. So it was interesting to kind of, experience that through to know. So it's kind of like, that's when I'm like, okay, reincarnation's got to be something. Someone didn't come up with this for no reason, especially when you have a kid who's sitting there at 4 or 5 years old and goes, I remember when I was an old man and sat in the corner and would read this book and would know.
Oh, I've seen those videos.
Right. It's like, it's something.
Forgot
like,
about those.
The 3-year-old who's like, oh, I can give you all the details of this battle, and oh, that's exactly where I died, and all that stuff.
Well, they even say, like, if you have a birthmark, the birthmark is actually is a killing wound. So depending on where your birthmark is, depends on how you died in a previous life, on your past life. So that's why I'm kind of like, reincarnate. There's got to be a little bit of truth to reincarnation somewhere. It's just, we don't know, because if we did, then you don't have just your psyche, your normal everyday psyche you're dealing with multiple psyches depending on how many cycles you've been through. And if you're not crazy yet, you will be then.
I like to think of it as your soul is what goes on into that reincarnation cycle, and once you leave your body behind, you go and you return to your like true your higher self, as it were, and you remember all your incarnations, and you're like, oh well, in this one at least I did this, I wish I hadn't done that. So you remember them like when you're up looking down at yourself, I guess, in a way.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like that's where the feelings of deja vu can come from sometimes. Like when you're like, okay, I didn't dream about this, but it feels like I've done this before.
Interesting.
See, we're going to have you sold on reincarnation before this is done. Especially since, you know,
It's like,
you decided to take the name of somebody who came back from the dead. I'm just saying.
Right? I'm just, yeah.
okay, fair point. Okay, very fair point. I love Lazarus. I love the story of Lazarus, honestly.
It's pretty amazing.
I have had both very positive and very negative experiences with the fair folk. As I am Irish, it's almost my obligation, I feel like, to at least work some with fair folk. One time, I royally fucked up. I did a small ritual where I put all of my worries, doubts, and fears into a handful of stones. I went down to the Neuse River and I threw the stones in the river. Unbeknownst to me, something followed me back home.
No.
Something very unhappy with me for putting crap in their lake, putting crap in their river, and I had to perform a home cleansing.
Oh gosh.
Things started turning off and on by themselves. I heard my voice, I heard my name coming from the woods.
Oh.
It was a bad time. But that was the bad experience. I've also had very positive experiences. Because I've learned recently that the fair folk also act as house spirits, keeping you safe and keeping your family safe. And regular cleaning, like just picking up around the house, can keep them happy with you. And I learned that at the same time, I am very much loved by these spirits, that I am very much looked after by these spirits, and they are not to be feared, just respected.
So, what water spirit did you piss off?
Well, I just knew it was a fair folk of water. That's all I knew.
Got you.
Um, oof, that was not a fun time. That was creepy. Thankfully, I had some iron on hand. Iron has been famously known to ward off most spirits, fair folk, demons, all that good stuff.
So like a really weird question, but earlier you had talked about like the going over running water and like your
Yes.
experience with the fair folk and everything. What are some other like folklore or superstition type things that are like you use in your practice and you believe in?
Yes. Okay. So we have iron. We have witch bottles.
Mhm.
We have, let's see, in some regions of Appalachia and general ghost lore, especially in the Black community. This is another one of those gray area Appalachian folk, Black folk crossover. This is in one of those gray areas. There's a type of ghost called a haint, Haint, and they are obsessed with counting. They have a counting compulsion. So if you keep a bowl of rice next to your bedside, they have to count each grain of rice before they can get to you. Or if you keep a broom above the door, they have to count each bristle. Or if you keep a Bible open near you as you sleep, they have to count each letter.
Oh,
So that's some interesting stuff. I also keep a small bit of paper on me with a psalm written on it. Not the whole psalm, just the psalm number flanked by 3 crosses, and keep it in my pocket sometimes. Let's see. Hmm. Trying to think of other superstitions I legit follow.
You don't whistle in the woods.
I don't whistle in the woods. I do not whistle in the woods. Foxfire, I swear to God, if I catch your ass whistling in the woods,
oh my gosh, you actually do that?
Who, me?
do I?
You?
Which you?
Foxfire.
No, I'm a lot of things in this
Okay,
lifetime,
good.
but I'm not stupid. However,
I was about to say.
I was about to say nah.
next time I'm up in Lazarus neck of the wood for the Wednesday walk, I may just do it just tease that I'll do it.
Just to see me go catatonic. Just to see me.
You bet
Just
you're
to
gonna
torture
see
me.
him be like, nope, you whistled, I'm running, you're slower than I am,
out,
I'm gone.
Goodbye. I don't fuck with Ouija boards.
No.
Oh, no. No.
Because absolutely not. I do not have that kind of time.
I don't have enough of any kind of cleansing to deal with all that.
Nope. I have a friend who's a death witch. Her She said, I asked her, I said, hey, what are your thoughts on Ouija boards? She said, fuck that.
I'm pretty sure like almost every single like witchy person, pagan, most people I've come across in real life are all like, fuck Ouija boards. Nope.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
He has,
Absolutely not. So, anyway. Oh, right, fair folk. That's all I got. That's all I wanted to say. Very good, very bad experiences. I will continue to work with fair folk, and I'm starting to have a lot more positive experiences lately.
Because I was actually going to say my water element guardian is actually a Selkie.
Ooh.
And I've got to find the PDF file that Raven sent me a long time ago when she did all the stuff for me that I had asked her to do. Because it's a list of who is like my guardian spirits, who is my guardian elementals. That's when I found out that Freya and Horus were my goddess, my patron and patroness. Funny little tidbit, my husband's patron and patroness is Thoth and Venus. Specifically Venus.
Ooh.
Like, because people like to interchange Venus and Aphrodite or Artemis and Diana and all of them. It's like, you really can't do that because they're different pantheons from different things. While there may be similarities, they're not the same god or goddess. But something I was looking into research on Thoth just in curiosity, and actually come to find out that Horus and Thoth were extremely close together in a lot of the mythology. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, that makes sense.
That checks out.
I was like, that makes sense. But like, recently I was making spell jars for people, and it's like how we say, you typically don't walk into other gods or goddesses who would be opposing to your god or goddess. I made a sleep jar for a friend of mine with a sleep thorn because they were having trouble sleeping, which, by the way, they sleep a lot better now that they've had it. Made them an anxiety jar and made them an empowerment jar, and they feel like things are working kind of in their favor with those three things. However, for a different friend, I ended up making a protection jar that was specifically Loki themed.
Love Loki.
So Freya and after some conversation, Freya and Loki are not the best of friends. They're that that popular girl and popular. She's the popular girl in school, while he was like the guy who just knew exactly what to say to like kind of needle her a little bit and like tick her off, and finally go like, look, now I'm gonna bitch slap you next week. So I actually I made the spell jar, and I said, Freya, please forgive me, you're gonna be mad at me, but this person is specifically a worshiper of Loki. I'm doing this for them. I think it's a positive thing, because you brought this person into my life, so obviously, and you knew they were a Loki worshiper. So let me just say,
and she's just giving you the death glare the entire time.
I was given that. It was that feeling of begrudging. Okay, I'm letting you do this.
Yeah.
But it was still the thing of, it's like you said, it's like when you go to step up to a deity of any kind, you have to step up to them right and make sure that you're not stepping on toes, because you don't want to offend any of them by accident, or guardian spirits or fair folk. Because fair folk like to move things around on you when you're not looking.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't find my keys for like 30 minutes. And all of a sudden, a friend of mine I was on the phone with was like, hey, any fae folk in the house, if you're futzing with his keys, put them back. And within 2 seconds, I found them. So,
oh my god.
I swear there was something that lived at a house I lived in a while back, and my aunt had visited, and she lost an earring. She was like, I could have sworn I left it on this bathroom counter. And like 3 months later, she came back, and there it was in the exact spot where she thought she'd left it. but it wasn't there
Some spirits like to
before.
steal shit.
Yeah.
Loki steals shit. Fair folk steal shit.
I still shit.
That's
I
different.
mean, your walls.
I'm sick. That's me knocking 3 times on the wall while you're sleeping at night. That's me.
Yeah. I'm in the rafters.
Can you not do it at 3 a.m.? Dang, man.
That's the best time to do it. You're not expecting it. No.
It has to be at 3:33. It's the
Yes.
perfect
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's like it's kind of like we've discussed multiple times. Like everyone practices different ways and does things different ways. And just from Lazarus's point of view, you have a lot of things intermingled with how you practice?
Yes.
You know, it's like, but it works for you. That's just how it is.
Yes.
Like it's something me and you've discussed. Is like I would probably personally never curse anybody, or I would probably never jar anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I do believe that if I do it, I need to make sure I'm doing it with a clear conscious and intention, and not one of I'm angry at this person for what they did. However, there is one person who, if I ever met them, I would personally curse them to a point where I would not feel bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we all have that one person.
When you're sitting there and you're cutting the grass and you have like a quick, like a flash in your head, or like, I don't want to say flash, but like a daydream in your head of seeing this person in public and literally grabbing them and looking them straight in the eyes and saying, I hope the Norns give you the worst possible fate that they possibly can. You know, this person has done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking. Now we're getting
somewhere. And I'm like, that's the darkest side of me that
oh, it's fine.
That Lazarus will ever see, because I also ask people if they want me to, because I jokingly say I can curse this person for you, and I'm told if someone says no, I'll respect the no, because I'm like, if you don't feel angry enough that something needs to be done, I'm going to leave it alone then. Although this one person, I would not feel bad at all whatsoever if I did it. It's like I tell a lot of people, don't screw with my friends, and don't screw with people who I care about, because once you do, you're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He had it coming. He had it coming.
Yeah, instead of 13 shots, it'll be. I don't normally would sit there and think about doing something like that, but
anyway,
there's always daydreams about some things.
Daydreams are nice. So, with that being said, we've discussed a lot of really good things, just kind of talking about the Appalachian side of things, going into how you do your different workings, how you've actually taken an opportunity to, like, you know, go to a different pantheon and be like, if I have ever stepped outside my bounds, like, please forgive me. Like, that's a big thing. But it's like, I think Raven will agree. There's a lot that it's like, it seems like an Appalachian magic and Christian witch magic or folk magic just in general has a lot of there's crossover, because everything traveled up is the best way, as I like to put it, from one point and slowly moved up the coast or down the coast, depending on where you want to start from. And all religions kind of intersect at some point. You know, you got Catholicism and Christianity cross, and Christianity is going to cross over with, you know, different faith.
Buddhism.
Yeah.
Everything, really.
Right. I mean,
you probably also had a lot of camaraderie between certain religions while they were trying to be out of the way of persecution.
Right. So it's, you know, it goes to show that a lot of our practices, you know, the pagan practices came first before the Christian practices came. That's why we have the Christian practices that we have, is because the pagans did it and they said, hey, we want to make it look pretty. How can we get these? And we want to convert. So, but no, I just, that was a lot of really good information just to kind of get a perspective of different workings under a different spell type.
Hence Browningly terrifying. But it was very informative. It was very helpful. It was a high risk, and it was a pretty high reward, I think, for me.
Right.
But yeah, just make sure you do all this with respect, please. Oh my God. Do not come. I swear to God, if I ever find someone on social media, like, talking about how they walked up pompously with no humility to one of these deities, I would smash my phone, because I don't want that kind of energy.
Yep. No.
Yeah. that doesn't make sense to me. How you're like, oh well, I'm just gonna go up and be all crazy and like, oh well, I want you to do this. I'm gonna make you do that type of stuff. I'm like, you have a death wish, don't you? Did you get your will done? Okay, you're good. All right, I
Like, I
guess.
hope you got your house in order.
Right. So, I mean, it's like right now, I saw on social media recently that they are touring Annabelle around.
Oh my
Oh my
god, I saw
God.
that too. It's
And I'm just sitting here and I'm
Jesus.
like, there's a whole well, first off, there's a whole movie franchise. But second off, there's
Mhm.
like there's
Yeah.
so much lore behind this. Why would you do this?
Like,
uh-huh.
why would you? It's like when they built a water slide over Lake Lanier. Have you seen that?
No.
You don't know that story?
Uh-uh.
You don't know the story about Lake Lanier?
No.
So Lake Lanier was a bustling African American town, chiefly African American, run by African Americans. And after a series of raids by the KKK, everyone is driven out, and they later flooded the town.
Oh, that's brilliant.
They flooded the town, and the town is still
Oh
down
my
there.
gosh.
So there are a ton of very, very, very angry spirits that are chilling over that lake, and they built a fucking water slide.
Wee.
Yeah, right into the gaping jaws of doom.
Yep.
Yep.
Speaking of death wishes, there you go.
Yeah. It's like, sure, just disrespect this entire culture, why don't you? Just disrespect all of this lore. It's not gonna hurt you.
That's one of my major issues is people who are like, I don't believe in it, so it's not real.
Yes,
That does
exactly.
not change the fact that it is there.
Yeah, it's like, disbelieve it all you want, you're still gonna get your ass kicked.
You can say that that tiger isn't coming towards you all you want, but it's still going to be there when you close your eyes.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm about to.
Well, that's all I got. For thine is the kingdom.
Yep. Yep. Well,
Well, that's all I got.
that is awesome. I think we got some really good information. I think you had a lot of good information to kind of give about the subject, considering that you do the subject. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think we almost got you sold on reincarnation, so that's a
Reincarnation.
good thing.
I'm like 80% there at this point. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right, so we're going to have to do an episode on reincarnation and bring you back.
Yeah. Be like, we brought Lazarus back because, hey, that's what reincarnation's all about, recycling. So, with that being said, I do want to say thank you, Lazarus, for joining us and giving us your point of view and talking about your stuff, because it was actually interesting to hear from somebody else and get their point of
Absolutely.
view. And like, of course, I'm always going to keep in touch with you no matter what. And I'm pretty sure after this, Raven's be like, here's my phone number. Message me anytime. We can talk about crazy crap.
Oh, yeah. We're making a group chat.
We're going to make a group chat.
Hell
And
yeah.
keep up.
Hell yes.
So with that being said, I don't have anything else. Raven, is there anything you wanted to say?
No, I think we got like you said, we got a lot of really good information, and I feel like there's more we can delve into later on, so we might have to do a 2.0 at some point, but I really love this. This was amazing.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
So with that being said, since Lazarus, you did the opening prayer, you get to do the closing prayer and the good night.
Oh yeah, sure thing. All right. Give me a second. Let me think. In the name of the powers that be, please bless us tonight as we leave to go our separate ways. Please keep us safe. Please be with us. So may it be.
So may it be.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or topic suggestions, feel free to reach out through the link in the description below. We'd love to hear from you. Blessed be and walk in light.